Lagos. The federal capital of Nigeria was tense, loud, and moving like any other day. People filled the streets. Traders opened their shops. And soldiers reported to duty. Nobody expected it to be a turning point in Nigerian history. Murtala Muhammed left home early that morning. No escort convoy. He kissed his wife, hugged his children, then stepped into his black Mercedes. Drove off into a journey that would never return him home. He was a Nigerian military officer and the fourth head of state of Nigeria. Assassinated at the age of 37, along with his aide-de-camp and his driver, in his black Mercedes on February 13, 1976. The assassination was part of an attempted coup led by Buka Saka Dimka. Murtala's rule was short but deadly, and his death hides secrets they desperately tried to bury. Watch this video to the end to uncover the deep, dark truth behind Murtala Muhammed's assassination by Dimka. And the mystery that won't die. Subscribe now for more chilling histories they tried to bury. Before we uncover the secrets they tried to bury, let's go back to where it all began. Murtala Muhammed was born on November 8, 1938, in Kano, into a Hausa Muslim family with modest means and deep discipline. He attended government college, Zaria, now Berwa College. At age 19, he joined the Nigerian army. He was trained as an officer cadet at Sandhurst in the UK. After his training, he was commissioned as a second lieutenant in 1961 and assigned to the Nigerian Army Signals that same year. By 1966, Nigeria had become a battlefield of tribal bloodshed, coups, and counter-coup. That year, Major Chukwuma Nziagwu led the first coup. Murtala opposed it. General Aguiyi-Ironsi seized power, but held it briefly. Months later, the North responded with a counter-coup. Ironsi was executed. Power collapsed. And Nigeria slipped into chaos. Murtala challenged seniors and demanded action. During the Nigerian Civil War, 1967 to 1970, he commanded the 2nd Division, a brutal campaign across the Midwest. He was feared by enemies and questioned by allies. By the time the war ended, he was no longer just a soldier but a symbol of force and nationalist fire. When Yakubu Gowon became head of state in August 1966, Murtala was offered a role in the Supreme Military Council. He watched the Gowon regime drag on, watched promises of transition evaporate, watched corruption return, and he waited. In July 1975, while Gowon was away, in Kampala, for an Organization of African Union summit, the military struck. It was bloodless and fast. And Murtala Muhammed emerged as the new head of state on that same day. He took office and moved fast. He appointed Olusegun Obasanjo as his deputy, fired over 10,000 civil servants in one day. He cancelled inflated contracts signed under Gowon, exposed fraud in ministries, and targeted ghost workers and dead projects. He treated every day like war. Murtala also relocated the federal capital from Lagos to Abuja. He drafted a new constitution. He promised elections within months. He refused to allow tribal loyalty to shape state policy. This was new and dangerous. On February 13, 1976, Murtala Muhammed left his residence in Ikoyi at approximately 8:30 a.m. Inside the car was Murtala, his aide-de-camp, and his driver. There was no escort. At the junction of 2nd Infantry Division Road and George Street, near Federal Secretariat in Ikoyi, his car was ambushed. At the junction, a yellow Volkswagen and a Datsun 120Y intercepted them. 6 armed men, dressed in civilian clothes, opened fire. Murtala was hit in the head and chest. Akinsa Hinwa attempted to respond but was shot multiple times. The driver was also killed. The operation was led by Lieutenant Colonel Buka Saka Dimka. Immediately after the killing, Dimka proceeded to Radio Nigeria in Ikoyi. He ordered a live broadcast. In his announcement, he accused Murtala of corruption and tyranny. He claimed the coup was in the interest of national restoration. He did not name a replacement or provide a plan of action. The broadcast lasted under 10 minutes. By midday, inside Radio Nigeria, Dimka had just finished his coup broadcast. The building was surrounded. Soldiers were on edge. The phone lines were cut. Then, Ibrahim Babangida walked in, unarmed, carrying a bottle of champagne. Babangida knew Dimka personally. They trained together. Same barracks. He used the bottle to start a conversation, to distract him, to buy time, and to slow him down before more damage was done. Dimka listened. He didn't pull his gun or stop the conversation. For a moment, he relaxed. But outside, it was already over. Obasanjo had deployed loyal troops. Danjuma locked down Doden barracks. No formation joined the coup. Babangida left. The coup failed. Dimka abandoned the station and escaped from Lagos. He was declared wanted by the military government. Anyone with information on Lieutenant Colonel Dimka should report to the nearest police station. A reward awaits. Posters were printed. His photo circulated. Dimka headed to Anambra State to see his girlfriend. They checked into a hotel together. He chose a room that allowed for an easy escape, knowing something could go wrong at any moment. Rumors began to spread that Dimka was hiding in the hotel. By midnight, soldiers had traced the location. When Dimka heard knocking, he slipped into the bathroom, broke through the window, and escaped. On March 6, 1976, he was arrested in Was, near present-day Abuja. Executions were carried out between May 15 and May 16, 1976, in Kirikiri prison and other undisclosed locations. Dimka was executed, along with 31 others by the firing squad without mercy. Obasanjo became head of state within days. There was no internal opposition. Dimka and Murtala were not enemies. They fought side by side during the 1966 counter-coup that removed General Ironsi and brought General Yakubu Gowon to power. Dimka later participated in the 1975 coup that brought Murtala Muhammed to leadership. However, there's a deeper, darker truth behind Murtala Muhammed's assassination by Dimka. This is the truth they buried. It is whispered in some quarters that Murtala Muhammed had plans to create new states across Nigeria. One of these was to be called Mainland State. Carved out of what is now Cross River State, with its capital in the Bekasi region of present-day Akwa Ibom. Dimka was promised the role of military governor of this new state. Murtala did create several new states, but Mainland State was never formed. Dimka was never appointed. That is where Dimka's anger began here. He felt betrayed. He had already prepared to take office. That promise was broken. Neither Murtala nor Dimka lived to confirm or deny this story. Whatever the truth, this shadow hangs over the assassination, a reminder that beneath the official story lies a deeper, darker struggle. Their shared history made the assassination not just a betrayal, but a fracture within former allies. And a truth still buried in Nigeria's history. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more dark corners in Nigerian history, the ones they don't want you to remember.